exciting to have everyone here. We have Devlin, second time appearance on the show. Really appreciate you being here. Devlin is the host of the Landmark Nightlife Show, which I believe is 5 nights a week. They go through, do craziness all through Landmark. So make sure to give him a follow. If you're not following Devlin, he just said, "What's up" in chat. So click on that name, hit that follow button. We have Tenma here from Tenma's Tutorials. He is the guild leader of the largest guild in Landmark. He has tons of tutorials, tips, tricks, all that kind of stuff. If you need to know anything Landmark, Tenma's the guy to check out. Tenma, make sure to give him a follow. And of course, we have George here with Landmark Explorers. Always wakes up on the right side of the bed. Great show. Every 5 nights a week. Has the morning brew. Goes through Landmark. Checks out different builds. It's a lot of fun. Make sure to give him a follow as well. Okay, guys. So I'm not going to do the normal intro. You guys should know what the show's about. We talk about Landmark. We talk about what's going on, how we can influence the game, how the changes are going to influence us as the community. And I kind of want to dig, because they have shifted. Well, actually, I want to just talk about this announcements. They have shifted Landmark Live to Thursday. Now, I'm not sure if it's going to be just for this week or all future episodes, but it's going to be in the morning before the workshop. So if you were expecting Landmark Live tonight, that's where it shifted to. So it will be tomorrow. So we were talking a little bit about it today, about possibly changing the format of the show, moving maybe to Thursday. But we figured there was so much news this week that we could just get together and talk about that. So that's what we're going to be discussing. But tomorrow, me and George are going to get together on his channel, where right after the workshop, we're going to be discussing the new updates and all the Kino's workshop stuff. So be sure to tune into that. Okay, so let's get right into the big news. Columbus Nova which is an investment management firm, has acquired Sony Online Entertainment, and they have renamed them to Daybreak. This is out of nowhere to me. I did not expect it. I didn't get any vibe from any of the devs that this was coming. Let me ask you guys, did you guys expect this?
Not at all. Not at all.
Not surprised, though.
Yeah.
Not surprised.
Not surprised, but
the
at
timing is classic. Just classic.
Can you expand on that?
Yeah, well, okay, so when you do a deal like this, you typically, the company selling wants to do it around an event of some sort, so they get the maximum value for the transaction. And of course, the company doing the acquisition gets they get something that's high profile. So, after the launch of H1Z1, so this deal was in the works before H1Z1 launched. I mean, clearly, this stuff doesn't happen overnight. This stuff has months of lead time. So, some of these things are no coincidence. But I honestly, though, I didn't see it coming. I just thought all the giddiness at the 1 year anniversary stuff was, everyone's just high on Landmark. So it was that and more.
And Tenma, so what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean, it kind of sucks, just because I know it's going to take me at least like 5 months to get off of calling it SOE, and that whole type trip, and calling them Daybreak. I still don't like the name.
Yeah, let's go around to all of you and talk about and ask. Do you guys like the name Daybreak? And what do you think their thought process was? Is it connected to H1Z1? Or let's start with you, Devlin. What do you think about the name Daybreak for the new SOE company?
Well, as a game development name, it is a little bit strange. I think I see the logic behind it. Daybreak, new day, new game company, new everything. They're basically under new management. I mean, all the people that are involved are still involved in everything. But they got new bosses. It's a new time. A new day is dawning for these guys. So Daybreak makes sense to me. I think they could have made a better name, but it makes sense.
Tenma, what do you think?
I really don't like the name. I really don't. I still think it should be, Domino something.
Domino's is already taken, but yeah, maybe Domino. Just Domino.
No, Domino Online
Domino
Gaming.
Games. Yeah,
Or,
Domino Games. I like that.
Well, actually, not Domino Online Gaming, because then it would say dog, and we can't do that.
Oh yeah.
So, Doe.
We'll figure it out.
Doe. Yeah, Domino Online Entertainment. Well, let's leave it at that.
Okay.
But they would do that.
George, what do you think about the name Daybreak? I keep having to check for it because it's so new, and it's just not, in my mind. It's not beat into my mind yet. Daybreak.
Well, I like it. Of course, I'm going to find the silver lining in every transaction, in every deal. Okay, so that's the silver lining for me. Is that
That's it.
Look, guys, I want to see what their logo is going to look like. I want to see what their vision of Daybreak is. Why did they choose it? We'll see when the logo comes out. I think we'll be able to tell.
They said it was going to be out today, but we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
And as far as I understand, they're taking submissions for it.
Did you see Spider's submission?
Spider Oz? No.
Yo, man, Spider, you rule, brother. That was great.
Awesome.
And there's some other really good ones out there, but Spider is bringing his game, man. He's bringing his.
Where's it at? Where's this at?
Check his.
Come
Twitter
on now.
feed. Check his Twitter feed.
Okay, check Spider Oz's Twitter. If anyone can link that up, any of the mods out there can link up that picture. I would love to see that. That's really cool.
But I think that the name in some way may be related to H1Z1. Come on, guys. H1Z1, it goes live for the alpha. Granted, they had some problems at the launch, but wow, when you got 10 times the number of people clamoring to get in that you anticipate, but it goes right to number one on Twitch TV. All right, the transaction had already been done. The deal was done. These guys had already done the acquisition, just waiting for the announcement. So I'm telling you, man.
Money talks, right?
I think Daybreak is intertwined with H1Z1.
Boom, 1,000 stars in chat. Just posted up, and I was right on the nose. Quote, it also is representative of our vision to approach each new day as an opportunity to move gaming forward. I win.
Okay.
Great job, man. Great job.
I still like Domino Online Entertainment better there. Or it could be, Dave Jorgensen's Online.
Okay.
DGO.
To me, it feels a little generic-y. That's kind of how I read it. No offense, even though that's offensive to them. But hey, that's just how I feel about it, and I feel like other people will feel that way too.
Well, one last thing on this topic, at least for me, is that change is difficult for everybody. It's just difficult for everybody. No matter how optimistic you are, when there's uncertainty, it's not easy. So, but look at the smiling faces over there at Daybreak. Just look at those guys grinning from ear to ear.
Well, they love it because now they're not tied to what Sony tells them to do. Where that was one of the biggest issues, and almost for every game company that is owned by a parent, because the parent is going to be like, you can't do this, you can't do that,
and they have requirements, annual or monthly reports that they have to get filled out, and they have to hit certain goals, and hopefully under new management, the goals will be expanded to be more focused specifically on the games and not so much on the profits. But
if anybody's interested in this stuff, I mean, if you want to know what's going on behind the scenes, just go do your research on Columbus Nova. Great firm, a lot in assets. These guys are rocking it. So I think everyone's going to bring their A game to this deal.
What makes me mad is them haters on the forums. I want to choke F every one of you.
But come on, the general forums. Look, rule of thumb: stay away from the general forums in any game, anywhere, made by anybody. They're all the same. Come on, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's just. It's up to. Give me one second. I tell you, because I think I still got it up here somewhere. Nope, I don't. But it was up into like 17 pages of hate. And I'm like, seriously? Seriously, you're going to like be whining about refunds. You paid for it. Tough crap. Suck it up. You know, that's the way I look at it. And then you got other people who are like, "Oh yeah, this is a bad move, and you know, I'm here because of Sony." And I'm like, "Fine, go
Well,
get your
right now,
Sony headset or whatever." But
so my wife, for example, doesn't know anything about the gaming industry. She recognizes the name Sony. So when I say Sony,
Yeah.
blah 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 blah, all she hears is Sony. Okay, you can go do that.
yeah.
Now she's
Right.
like, the dishes had better be done when I get home. I'm gonna kick your butt.
It
Right.
better be
That's right.
done by daybreak.
Touche. So and one thing Smedley talked about when they made this first announcement was the big advantage of shifting from Sony Online Entertainment to a new company is they can produce games for multiple platforms, Xbox specifically. I guess apparently that is one of Sony SOE's most profitable divisions is the console games that they produce. So how do you foresee that affecting, specifically Landmark? Do you think they're going to push it towards the consoles and specifically both consoles, or do you think they're going to keep it in development and maybe save that kind of distribution to EverQuest Next? And I'm going to any of you can take that. Devlin, any thoughts on that? Do you think they're going to push towards the consoles in regards to Landmark?
Well, Landmark specifically, I'm not entirely sure about because the consoles indeed do make up a large part of the gaming population, by majority. That's all there is to it. When you combine all three of the major ones that are out there plus last gen stuff, it's a huge portion of the population. So, do I think they're going to be pushing towards making some games towards consoles, like EverQuest? Yes. Landmark, I'm not entirely sure. Just because Landmark, there's still a lot of stuff in beta. There's still a lot of stuff that needs tweaking. It's a simple fact. It's a beta game. We all know this to be a fact, and it's a very finicky game. I mean, even Minecraft on consoles is a watered down version of what they're doing. Something like EverQuest Next, something that's going to be a little bit more traditional towards a linear gameplay or a consumer based gameplay. Yes, I do think they're going to be pushing towards consoles towards that later on down the line. Right away, I'm not entirely convinced about that yet. No.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty accurate as far as Landmark's concerned. But EverQuest Next, I mean, I would love to see a full-scale AAA MMO that's cross-platform, especially if it's actually we can interact with the two communities, because they are very different communities, and it would be kind of cool to see that crossover there if that's what they're focused on. Okay, so guys, yeah,
I've
Go
got
ahead.
a thought. Unless David's got something to say about the cross-platform stuff.
Other than make it on PC first, then port it.
Not the other way around, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, so while the discussion has been, and I've seen a lot of it on Twitter, on the forums, on our show, has been about the fact now they're not locked down to any platform. I think that one of the questions I'd love to get an answer to over the next month or two might be, are you guys going to branch out into non-MMO titles? I think they've got a lot of genius over there. I mean, a lot of really talented people, writers, designers, developers, coders. Wow, I think these guys, the potential for doing something that's non-MMO, I think is huge too. But as far as I'm concerned, as long as they take care of EQ Next, Landmark, H1Z1, PlanetSide 2, man, nail down those tight, I'm good. But the future's wide open.
Yep, most definitely. So on, one thing on the bright side is they did specifically say that all current and upcoming Sony Online Entertainment games will continue to operate and be developed as normal. They had a forum post where I guess Smedley said, in fact, we expect to have even more resources available to us as a result of this acquisition. So the company added, leading to the new exciting developments for our existing IPs and games. So,
Wow, when did that come out? When was that message?
that was on the forums, and I don't have the specific post, but
That
I
is
just pulled
telling
it out of
right there. That's fantastic, Cody.
Yeah, so that's, that means, hey, we could see a big boost in, the level of commitment they have to Landmark. And that's, I think, what we've all been asking for. We want more props. We want more updates. We want more of everything, more. But we want everything quicker and faster. And, if they're going to be putting more money into this, and we know that they're going to be developing EverQuest next, that's what that just said. And that means that they're going to have to develop Landmark first, so in some aspects. So I think it could be good for us in the long run. The main question I have is, George, you mentioned that they were talking, or something like this takes a long time to happen, right? Months, even possibly up to a year. Is that enough time where they could take those resources that they're going to be potentially putting into Daybreak and, hire the people in advance, get the programmers on board, or are we going to still see that, bit of a lag time between Daybreak being created and then seeing, what comes out of it as far as, assets and things for us, the gaming community in Landmark? Do you think we're going to see that lag time?
Well, I think they'll be moving quickly internally because that's typically what happens. I mean, as soon as you get funding, as soon as you get a budget, you go and you operate to that budget. So, if, for instance, if Dave gets budget to expand all of his teams, they're not going to. That's not what he's going to be talking about, because that's not what we need to know. All we need to know is how is the game that we're working on coming along, and I think we'll see the blueprint accelerate. Yeah, we'll see it, man. We'll see it, but they won't be talking about all the people they hired, all the staff they hired, what they're going to be doing. That's really not how you do that. Dave, what's up, man?
They're having war in our chat. A little chatter.
It's not war.
It's
Somebody mentioned that Tim had shaved his chin, and I never noticed exactly how magnificently chiseled his chin is. It's beautiful.
It's like superhero.
That's like Batman level chin, man. That is
awesome. I'm
work.
telling you,
You
man.
haven't seen if you've ever seen that episode on what is it, College Humor. Is that what you think it is? Oh yeah.
Those are great.
If you haven't seen it, you got, what is it? Batman can't stop thinking about sex. Oh yeah, I was knee deep in there.
And speaking about that, Murray just says, "Happy
All right.
birthday, Timbo!" So happy birthday, man! Congratulations, you made it.
Thank you.
Yep, happy birthday to you. Really awesome. Glad you're enjoying your day, and yeah, super exciting.
Treat that chin well.
Yeah, treat that chin well tonight. All right, so I kind of want to talk a little bit about. Let me bring up my notes here. A little bit about the current player count in Landmark. Now, at 6 o'clock Eastern today, me and Shimmy, who is guild leader of Nanovoxels, we went to every server in Landmark and we did /who command. So what /who allows you to see is everyone that gives you a list of name of everyone that's on the server. And we went to each server, calculated it up, and we discovered the entire total of people playing at one specific given time in Landmark. And we were a little bit shocked by the number, and I was kind of surprised at just how low the total number of people playing in Landmark at any one specific time was. And it was actually 320 people. So that's, I mean, with the AAA MMO of Landmark, that number seems extremely small to me.
Why are you so negative, man? You are so negative.
A number's a number. You can't manipulate the numbers.
No,
and that's what it That's what it came to.
No. That's nothing, man.
Oh,
You're talking about
that's on the
a
basic assumption.
Wednesday.
It's telling me that data is accurate.
You're talking
do that
about a
command, it gives you
Wednesday.
results, but
You're talking about a Wednesday. That ain't nothing on a Wednesday.
That's on the
normal.
assumption that we are getting all the correct data and it's on a Wednesday. But I mean, that's just
it's
that's
fair,
a
Cody.
fact.
This is a fair subject. It really is.
It is. It's a fair subject, but I'm just saying, weekends it goes way up. During the week it goes way down. Just because people come home, they're like, I'm going to bed. It's just how it is, and it was like that all the way back at the end of Alpha, where we did that same thing during the end of Alpha, and we also did that at the beginning of Beta as well. And the numbers would do like this. I mean, it was all up and down. There was no consistency on it.
And some people were asking. I just want to note that was today at 6:00 Eastern. So it was on a Wednesday, middle of the week, as Tim has said. So that is to take, good to take into consideration. But still, at any given time, a number below 1,000 is really quite low for an MMO, I would say.
Well, I think what they said is indeed correct. I mean, this is indeed a fair subject, but to make it's on the way to being a fair subject. To make it a fair subject, you would have to do that on multiple days at multiple times to get a good baseline about what average player count over like a week is.
Yeah, that's a great
I mean,
idea.
I'm pretty sure they can sit there right there at their desk and be like, blah, 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 and they can tell you exactly how many people's online at any given moment, just with a click of a button.
In every one of their games.
They watch all that kind of stuff. They can see what's going up and down.
And do you think that data has dictated their recent move from the Landmark Live from Wednesday evenings to Thursday morning? Do you think that the player data dictated that, or do you think that was something else?
I think two things there. Well, my take on it is by doing it in the mornings, Pacific time, they're going to reach the European crowd because, let's face it, out in Europe, it's just too late for them to stay up for their regular time. And I think, I think it fits in better with their development cycle during they can do the show and then got a whole day in front of them.
Well, I call BS on that. Total BS on that. And the reason why I'm saying that is, okay, if they do the show during the European time and the only people that's actually able to interact with them during the daytime are the European crowd, then everybody after that doesn't get to interact with them. So the afternoon crowd has to watch the replay. And everybody says, well, the Europeans, they never get to be there for the show and blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, so now we become the Europeans and the Europeans become where we were as for the main people that interact.
And that's my question. Do you think the European demographic is higher in Landmark than the EU or US?
I don't think so. I doubt it.
I don't know, because Colossus, there's a lot of Europeans in your guild, Colossus.
I think the fair answer to that question is it depends on what time of day you're pulling that data from.
Yeah.
Overall, I mean, who's to say?
As far as that specific number, yes. But I think in general, we can all agree that the population of Landmark is relatively very low in standard games.
Compared to the Alpha.
Compared to all games.
What you guys did today, we were doing every week through the Alpha, and the numbers we saw were astounding.
And we haven't gone open yet.
15,000.
All it's basically showing is that less people are buying the game. Most of the people that are here right now we are the hardcore. We are the ones that have stuck around. We're here, and it's all about getting other people to come in. But until we get into open, where it's totally free to play, everybody can come in and be a part of it, and they don't have to go out and get keys and all this other kind of stuff to do it. That number is going to stay pretty low because you don't have that revolving door of free to play coming in. Did that make any sense?
Sure, absolutely, yeah. Once you remove the gate...
For a second there, it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, no, once you remove a gate, get the pay gateway to a game, obviously there's going to be a lot more people coming in and out, exploring with the tools and stuff. But you know, it's just something I thought that was worth mentioning and bringing up, and hopefully there will be an increase in players in Landmark because I want the game to succeed. I think all of us here do. We love the game, and we're just hoping that it can be as successful as it potentially could be, which is very successful. You know, I think of it as Minecraft on crack. That's what a lot of people have referred to it, and that's what it could be if they play their cards right and work with the community and, you know, get things moving forward in the right direction. So we'll see what happens. Big news today, no SOE Live this year. So that's, you know, that was a big question mark for a lot of people. You know, will there be a Daybreak Live or some kind of replacement thing? And as of right now, they said, nope, there's not going to be anything. So, Temma, you are, I know Temma and George were both at SOE Live last year. So, Temma, let me start with you. What are your thoughts on it?
I think it's a big mistake to pull it for this year. I mean, you know, that's where you keep your fans that you have. It's how you promote. That's how you promote the newer stuff.
They've got 2 months to change their mind and make it work still.
I mean, the way I'm kind of looking at it is like I was saying, that's how you keep the fans you have, and that is also how you bring in new people. It is a great marketing opportunity. I mean, look how many people have showed up for Landmark based on the video that was recorded at SOE Live 2013. I mean, it's a big ploy. It's advertisement, if anything.
What? And Tenma, they're just waiting for Daybreak's just waiting for you and me to go rent a hotel
and start your own Daybreak Live.
And
That's
do one for
is.
them. So just invite them over. Hey guys, come on over.
Hey, submit a
We got this.
proposal.
Yeah.
Give us
Besides-
$200 and a bottle of tequila. We'll do it.
Besides, there's a lot of people I want to see again. You know, I had a great time at the last one, and you know, to hang out with like George and you know Cody. Hopefully, if Cody brings his ass there this year,
I've already committed myself to it, and now I've already broken that promise.
yeah, and you know, I want Corain and the whole the whole entire crew. I want to see everybody. I want everybody to come up and just hang out with me. And that's what I liked about the last one, because I had people coming up to me, "Hey, you're Timma, right?" I'm like, yes. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun, and I had just a ball at the last one. So,
yeah, guys, Marin at Play and Corain are talking about. There's activity. There's chat on Facebook already about people getting together in Vegas.
Okay, so maybe an unofficial event might occur if it doesn't happen officially. And I'm sure that we'll hear more about that, like you said, Gio, in the next 2 months or so.
Yeah, I think they've got. I think honestly, they've got 2 months to change their mind and schedule one, and they can still pull it off. But renting space in Vegas, it gets expensive. The shorter lead time is.
Shipping all the devs out there. I've worked in print material, setting up displays and things of that nature. It's not cheap, and there is a serious lag time from print to production to shipping. Everything.
Tenma and I will hire a bus and
How much?
send it out to San Diego and drive them to Vegas if we have to.
I don't even remember how much the tickets were this past year. How much was the tickets?
Like 150, 160.
150. All right, half of it is paid for. The actual place itself is paid for. The gas money to get to the place is paid for. Everything else, probably not so much, but it does pay off for the company long term in, advertisement revenue. It doesn't make any sense to me.
No, honestly, though, if Tenma and I do organize this, if we were to organize this, it's not going to be in Vegas. You know where it's going to be.
Louisiana.
New Orleans, baby.
All right.
A
I
little
like
closer,
it. Eat some
We're just being
products.
silly. Just being
a
silly.
little bit more centralized for the majority of us, and probably cheaper airfare for a greater majority of people.
And the food and the music. Wow.
And the
Okay.
food and the music.
Well, okay. Corange said Amneris, who is our Landmark community manager, said if people set it up, she would definitely come. So, hey, maybe it will be in Louisiana and hosted by Timma and Gio. I would go. Why not? Sounds like a plan.
Cadaverri. See, right there. Right there. Timma, let's host fanfare in Raleigh-Durham. I'm pretty sure I could probably talk to somebody and get the convention center right here in Raleigh.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Well, there you go. Well, we'll have to make plans for all that stuff. Blueprint. Okay, so I just noticed this on the 27th of last month. They updated the blueprint with a small little blurb, and I just want to read it out to you guys. It says, okay, we're almost finished with the gameplay loop, achievements, player economy, etc. That should be done in the next couple of weeks. Then we start tightening the screws up for open beta. There's no ETA yet on that, but we're getting closer. We'll let you know as soon as we lock in a date. So what that reads to me is they're trying to implement a economy into Landmark Next, and could potentially be what tomorrow's update's all about. They haven't really talked about tomorrow's updates, what we're getting exactly. What do you guys think about this? This statement particularly. How soon do you expect to see open beta? And also, do you think we're going to see a player economy tomorrow or some kind of currency system in the game? And I'll start off with you, Devlin. Any thoughts on that?
Player economy or currency, I would like to see a rudimentary form of it at least. I mean, I'm not expecting anything, huge in tomorrow's episode. Player economy, that's a big thing. That's a big chunk of the gameplay. Am I expecting it all at once, regardless if it's tomorrow, 2 weeks down the line? No, not all at once. Rudimentary, possibly some kind of coinage or some other way of making things happen that's not ether shards. I know people have been talking about that and people have been wanting that. I know the devs say that the ether shards is the currency, but it's possible. I don't know one way or the other about that. What am I looking forward towards? Yeah, I'm just looking forward to whatever is in the update. And as far as open beta is concerned, I mean, if I were just to take a shot in the dark, I'd say somewhere between now and 3 months from now.
Yeah.
Given that statement, I mean, that statement is that's the closest thing to any kind of announcement that they've said thus far, and it's not even really that big of an announcement,
Very vague, yeah.
Maybe it's the merchants. They've said that they were going to be giving us anyway. The small merchant that we could put on our claim or something, but I just don't see where it's relevant right now. I still see stuff that's happening in the game that needs to be rectified before some of that other stuff takes place. Of course, bug fixes, which is one of my big things of all time. Fix the bugs, and let's worry about the other stuff afterwards. I still would love to be able to see it where we can take things from our templates and put it on our hotbar. I'd love to see double or triple stacked hotbars. There's all those little things I'd like to see happen.
Ease of use
in mechanics. Yeah. Yes, ease of use, and make it easier for people to be able to actually get around. When they changed all the materials, I think that got ridiculously hard to understand. They pretty much took away mithril, so there is no mithril pickaxes anymore. Fix all that. I like the basic materials how we had it before. Instead of taking this to make that, you turn a mithril into a mithril brick, and then you can use the mithril brick. I like that simplicity of that. But the way they've got it now, they've got so many names of materials in there, I can't even say half of them because I'm redneck.
Yeah, it's very confusing, the new material types. Absolutely. Like the cobalt, why not just call it cobalt instead of something weird that we don't know?
Exactly. The way they had it before was, I loved it because I know what cobalt is, but I don't know what that, whatever that name was.
Yeah, I don't even know what they're all called.
I can't say it.
It's just adding another level of complexity, which really isn't required in such a complex game system, right?
Yeah. Well, there must be a reason for it because I mean,
Why else
nine
would they
times
do it?
out of 10, why else would they do it? But I just don't understand it because, well, we just haven't heard. Okay, well, don't worry, guys. We got something else that will bleed into this, and it'll make all of it make sense. But the naming of it still doesn't make any sense to me because Cobalt is Cobalt to me. Kind of like the wood. There are two types of wood. There is the block, and then there's the other one.
The planks.
The planks, and you blocks.
And there's the raw. So there's
But
three
if-
types of wood. Yeah.
But if I make what is it, planks, I can't use that material anymore as a block. I can't make
Well,
the block
okay,
into
I got
a
a-
plank.
I got a
So
recommendation.
I've just wasted all that material if I happen to make the wrong one.
I got a recommendation. And
Yep.
today, live on our show, Tinma gave away an Explorers pack to Old Geezer. So we got someone new, brand new, found our stream, and Tinma hooked him up with an Explorers pack, got him into the game, they got him started, got him some basic gear. I think you need to get his perspective after he's been in the game a few weeks, maybe even just 2 weeks. Get his perspective on how the system is, because we all have the perspective. I mean, we've been in. I mean,
Well,
since
every-
alpha and the beginning of closed beta, or so you really need to have someone's perspective who has not seen what it used to be. And is it
Tim-
simple? Is it not? How,
Timma 3 is a character that nobody ever sees because I only use it for my recordings and stuff like that. But I wipe him clean and I start back from scratch just to see where the game is standing from a starter standpoint. How hard is it for me to get copper? How hard is it to figure out where the hell I'm supposed to go to grab something? Where I'm at right now, it's easy because I know where I'm at. I've got all the materials. I ain't got to go hunting for them. But when I get on that character and start looking for a particular material and I can't find it, I get pissed.
And
I did the exact
plants
same
as well.
thing.
Oh my god! And some of them have gotten ridiculously hard to find, just because of their placement. Now that they're, certain areas underneath the ground, in certain cave systems, it just becomes like really rough. And I know it has to do with the spawning and how things are being spawned right now. I know the monsters are not spawning correctly, and that has something to do with probably the material spawning. It's some form or fashion. But it kind of worries me on that part of the aspect of it. I want a player to be able to come in and be able to go, oh, that's where I need to go to get this. And it just seems like it's become a lot more difficult now than what it was before. And a lot of times, I mean, you remember the way it was before. You can go into a cave, you get down into a certain area, you knew exactly where you needed to go. And when you found a pocket of a material, it was big.
A bit really big, and I loved that. It was like hitting a gold mine.
It ain't-
Which is how it should feel.
Yeah,
It's very rare.
I think the general consensus here is that
Yeah.
they need to revisit this
The-
soon.
Absolutely, and it's a big complaint for new people, and that's if there's something like Tema said, blocking the entry, creating a barrier for new players to get in and experience the building tools and the potential of Landmark, linking and triggering, all that stuff. That's a huge thing that they do have to address. Absolutely.
So while they might have been
Derek-
shooting for a certain goal, the complexity took some of the fun away.
Derek just said, I started playing the day after the big December update. His only frustration really is the monster and the drop rates. And the fact that you have to destroy stuff even to make the tier 1 stuff. In other words, to be able to make the tier 1 stuff, you still have to go out there to kill stuff or destroy stuff to get started. And I think I kind of agree with him on that.
Way back when they said there was going to be no danger on the surface. The surface was going to be a safe place where you didn't have to fight stuff. So they must have changed their minds somewhere through that process.
I
I don't know why.
I mean, I could live with being able to run around with my pickaxe and just bashing things on the surface.
With your
You know,
pickaxe.
it's a monster, and take my pickaxe and I could use it as a weapon.
Or our axe. Yeah, yeah, really.
And take, yeah, I mean, it's got a sharp point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Messing stuff
seriously.
up.
And you put little fuzzy bunnies all over the place. I don't care. Put some bunnies out there.
Come back here, Slog, that I might brain thee. Come here.
Yes.
Yeah, indeed.
And I got an axe, and I can tell you, an axe is a really good weapon too. And you see fuzzy bunnies, you go beat the crap out of fuzzy bunnies to get whatever first shards you need. Cool. You just started your road to Smogs down in level 4 and 5. All right.
While we're, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Am I right? I mean, at least and maybe they don't. They don't even attack you back. They just go at you or something. I don't
think
know.
while we're on this thread, I think we need the ability to throw stuff that we can either play catch with, balls of some kind, or use as weapons to hit mobs. I'm
Yeah,
just
with
telling
snowballs,
you,
right?
to throw and catch in the game. Can you imagine? We could have our own Super Bowl at Tinma's Thunderdome.
Or Quidditch pitch.
Really, seriously, the games you could do with that, just that one little feature, I think would be amazing.
Absolutely. I would love that. Something similar to Hutball, right? Where you can catch
Yeah.
it and use it in the game modes and things like that. Maybe use the area tool to create an end zone and all that kind of stuff. Awesome.
But I mean, like a kind of reiterating that whole idea. You could still have monsters on the surface, but they'd act a little bit less violent as what you would see down into the caves. And that would give the new players an experience of, okay, well, this is how I do my combat. If I make a bow, how can I get used to this bow? Well, going out there on some of those monsters, like the big plant ones, and all of a sudden it just rapes you, it would be a way to actually bleed in to the creatures at the lower levels. Now, I know we only got 3 creature types right now, but it would be a progression in my sense. Have at least something on the top.
Yep.
Aesthetics.
Yeah, aesthetics. I would love to see
aesthetic.
more NPCs that aren't necessarily enemies. Like you said, bunnies and bears and deers and all that kind of stuff that just adds life and vibrance to the world.
And Kylan's, make sure that whatever island Kylan's is on, you give him some unicorns.
So you can make glue.
We seriously need glue. A lot of it. Please make more glue.
How else do they expect us to make those voxels stick together, man?
I know.
That's right.
Oh, that was another thing. I still want a putty voxel tool, or the ability to drag a template of a putty voxel onto my hotbar from the templates, or to pull out of the templates and put it onto my hotbar and be able to use them at one click instead of having to open a window to do it.
Yep, I would love that.
Well, they
Because the
did also.
yeah.
Go ahead. No, sorry. Go ahead.
The template menu is just a horrible, horrible mess, and it takes too long to use. It's just slow and laggy, and a lot of people avoid it at all costs. And I think that's really the root of the problem there, their whole template system and how you access it and interface with it. Right now, it's just awkward and clumsy.
I have 12 million voxels worth of template storage. I'm telling you, it takes a long time for my template window to open. And then I got to search it to find my putty voxel. And then after I search my putty voxel, then I got to apply it. And then after that, it gets easy because I ain't got to open the window again. But it's that whole process I have to go through every time that I have to bring out that putty voxel.
Yep. We need, shortcuts, and they need to build in the system so we can create our own shortcuts, hopefully. And I think they've been seeking a user interface designer for quite some time. It's been on their what was previously the Sony Online Entertainment Careers page. So I think that's probably something they're aware of, and hopefully, it's. I think the latency issue is also a big issue, and that could be dealt with on the programming aspect. But the interfacing, that could also solve a lot of the issues. So.
And they've also said that they wanted to do something about the props and making a different interface for props and making the recipes drop for props so you don't have to make the props all the time and things like that. So that could be something that's going into the update tomorrow as well.
The emitters changing over to the new system they were talking about possibly too.
Bingo. Yes.
Right. Awesome. So yeah, that's definitely on the radar, and I think that's probably something we could see tomorrow, which is really cool. And like Devlin just said, it's a system where we can, instead of having all these props in our inventory, we can just instantly place them in the world. As far as I understand, that's how it works, and it subtracts the resources directly from your inventory. So you don't have to deal with stacks and stacks of all these little plants and props and stuff. It's all just going to either be there or, I guess, not be there. I'm not sure how the system will work. Will it be a separate inventory with a list of what you've already crafted? I don't know. A lot to think about. Will you, once you delete a prop, maybe it's gone forever. Maybe it's something that you don't get to keep these assets.
Well,
I look forward to the show tomorrow, Landmark Live.
I mean, if you delete a prop, it should be permanently gone. You drag it up to the little bucket, and it should be gone. Now, at one time, we thought there was going to be a decomposition tool or something like that to be able to take something that you've created and break it down to its basics again.
Salvage.
I love that. Yes.
But I think they got away from that because then everybody's inventory, there's no cycle anymore once you put in that. So there's no reason for you to go back out and harvest more and all that kind of stuff. So there has to be an output of voxels somewhere. It's like right now I got so much stone I don't know what to do with it. You look over at my main's primary claim. I've got a huge block of stone sitting over there that it was filling up my inventory. So being able to get rid of some of the voxels by use of making templates and stuff, I understand that at least a little bit.
Yeah, especially with trying to create, an economy, and that's something that they specifically said they're working on. So, we'll see. Maybe there could be a compromise where you have the salvage system, but you get 50% of your resources back, or 75% of your resources back. So you still have the cycle where you're still required to go out and mine, or have friends that will help collect those resources for you, and you won't just have everything you need at all times, 6 months down the road or whatever. So, yeah, really cool stuff. All right, so we're getting to the end of the hour here, guys. Any other major topics that you guys wanted to bring up or discuss? We've been, it's huge news. A big acquisition. I think there's a lot of potential, a lot of new stuff down the road, and hopefully a lot more dedication put into Landmark in the community and all that stuff. Devlin, what do you got?
I want a lightning emitter.
A lightning emitter.
Yes.
That shocks.
Yes.
And
not that does maybe damage. I don't know. I just want to be able to build a big Tesla coil. That's all there is to it.
But seriously, this would be really great. I hope this is something they could roll in really quickly. We so need it. We really do.
Absolutely. I love it. So lightning emitter. As Dave.
Number one on my list. Number one, lightning emitter.
I want sprinkles.
You want sprinkles?
I want
Confetti!
sprinkles.
Yay! Yay! Yes!
Confetti.
Confetti wouldn't be bad. I like that. Ticker tape.
Let's see. What would I like probably more than anything out of the emitters? Other colors of fire, especially like the what was it? The eruption one from the Phoenix.
Oh yeah, the
George,
geyser,
come on.
the fire guy.
Come on, George. Hit me up here. Yeah, the fire geyser. I'd love to see in blue.
Oh yeah, the blue flame.
Green. Green.
and green, and have that phoenix change colors in and out.
Ooh, that would be pretty
I think
would
that would
like
be
that.
low-hanging fruit for the design team. For Rosie
Yes.
and Jeff, I think that would be low-hanging fruit. They could do that pretty easily.
cool.
They could
Absolutely.
easy.
And that would
Um,
be beautiful because
well-
that if you guys haven't seen that Phoenix, go check it out again.
Something. Now, Devlin just mentioned in chat something that is also high on my list, and I think so many builders is sound emitters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sound emitters. There was another thing.
I want a shotgun to kill them damn birds that are around my claim.
Have you seen the? Have you
As
ever
a
had?
bug spray.
Have you had wandering mobs on your claim when you're building? Like a wisp
No.
just floats across
Yes,
randomly.
yes. I had a slog in my living room once. I literally spawned in, and he was just sitting on my couch. I was like, "What's going on?" And he looked at me and went, and I was like, "All right, cool. You can start that."
All right, you're
I'm
cool.
out, please.
You're cool.
I have mosquitoes. That fly around my screen every once in a while like this, and I'm like, what the hell was that? And I'm looking around inside the house looking for this thing, and then I notice it go across my screen again. I'm like, what the hell was that? And then I look,
Bug zappers.
it's a giant mosquito. And I'm like, where the hell did that come from? I'm like, man, I need some raid.
Watching Infinity's stream the other day, I think it was Infinity's, and she did have a bug flying. It would fly across her camera. I'm like, is that? No, wait a minute.
That's funny.
There was okay.
It's great.
Any and Cody?
Yeah.
Any thoughts on where we stand with Keynos and EQ2, or I mean EQ Next?
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they say tomorrow. We had a lot of Jinsan posted up some new concept art, which was beautiful, of a modular city set. There was like 4 different buildings. Has those nice curves, good shape.
I
Yeah.
I love their concept art,
Yeah.
but it's not Daybreak's concept art, and then everybody is taking it for gold. It's taking it as word. And honestly,
That cat is raising the bar, man. Wow.
I would rather see concept art coming out of the company than coming around from players. I'm not saying anything bad about Jensen. I'm not saying anything about anybody, but he should take that, send it to Rosie, let her confirm it. If it meets the specs, it comes back out. It shouldn't be posted where everybody can, oh, yes, it's Word's Bond.
Tim, hey, okay, for everybody who's listening, that is a fantastic idea, and that's the better process, because then it gives them to be more of a gate of, hey, this is what we're looking for, and like we're always chasing squirrels on our show. I mean, that's I think could be what happens when
because the way I'm looking at it is, let it go through the development phase. Let everybody have input on it, but don't take one player's word as gold as it is what the style is going to be. The style hasn't even been developed yet. It needs to go through the developers. Let the developers decide if it's right or not, then let it come back out to the players. That's my issue with it, because
what I do like
it's not more than one person.
Is when people have that design at home on their desk or in their head, and they go build it, and then let the process work its way through. Where Rosie and Jeff and those guys come through and they check out these things, and then they give their recommendations for this and that.
So,
I love the work. I love the drawings.
That guy's got mad skills. Oh my God, Jinsan, holy crap!
Yeah, but I just
skills.
We are in a collaboration phase where we're bringing in ideas from multiple sources and trying to make something that is built by the community as a whole, not by one person. That's the only problem I have with the way it's being presented right now. Like I said, I would rather see artwork and design pieces that are coming from the dev team. And I'm not talking about these 5-minute sketches that are being put out right now. The sketches they have given us are 5-minute pieces of poop, okay? They're not finalized. They don't even look like they've even put any time into them.
Well, honestly, there's been
draw
6
better
weeks.
than that.
6 weeks of distractions over there, and of course, the acquisition going on in the background. So can't wait to see these guys focus. Exactly, that's my point. Let's
If you-
can't wait to see these guys focus and get back down to it, and
You want to
go all
start
the way
a
up to
competition?
11.
You want to start a competition? You want to start working all these little nuts and bolts out? Hey, you're the one that brung it up. You should have it already ready. Don't tell me that you're not going to start building Kinos now, because your butt needs to be fired. Because if they're building a game, they should have concept art out the yin yang over there that can be put right in front of us. This is what we want this city to look like. This is what this city should look like. This is where it's going to be placed. This is where it's going to be hit. This is the races that are going to live into it. Morgard probably knows more about it than anybody, and he has all that stuff down. It's in his head, and he's got it down. But they haven't done the concept parts for it. That's the way it looks like to me, because if you're only giving me 2 or 3 photos, something's wrong.
Yeah, and I think the major thing is you can't get excited about black and white sketch drawings. We want full concept art that's colored and beautiful and inspiring, and it's going to get people excited about building in that specific style. So I think that's what Jensen's stuff is a little bit more exciting, because he's bringing in the color and he's got different elements and things going on. So I have to agree with Tema. They need to step it up and give us the proper concept art, so we can really get excited about building Kinos for them, as opposed to having to do it ourselves. But at the same time, it is kind of cool to see the community come together and contribute such a great deal. But at the same time, I agree with you, where just having 1 or 2 or a couple people making a lot of these design decisions probably isn't the best solution. It's better if it gets filtered through one central source, which would be Rosie, like George was saying. So I see all aspects of that. I agree with you on some, but I'm really can't thank Jensen and the LaForge guys enough for doing the work that they do.
They are awesome, and I love the artwork. It is a awesome piece of concept art. But like I said, when you take something from one single source, and all of a sudden, okay, this is the way we want it to look at, and then every piece that's ever done after that by that person for that particular style is gold, and everybody follows it as Bond. Okay, and that's the problem I have.
Fugazoidal.
And I mean, I'll give you a good instance, and all these names you're going to hear out of my mouth. I love these guys to death. They do freaking awesome work. During Dark Elf, Bride made that one building. The art team stole it and then basically did a drawing outline and colored it in, and then used it as the style guide. Don't tell me y'all don't remember this. Come on now.
I wasn't here for that. I don't know.
Yeah, I was there for that, but I thought that was
Right?
pretty a mark of. I thought that was a good show of faith of how committed they are to working with the community to collaborate to build their style.
There was no collaboration after that, and that's why the Dark Elves look like shit. Okay? It was everybody had to build exactly like that, or it was nothing. They didn't even want to even take into consideration a lot of the stuff that was put out there by other players. You had to build like Bride, period.
Now, but with the, I would say the Dark Elf, you do have some good points, and there were some learning curves with the workshop. But with the Karen competition, I felt like there was a lot more exploration, and people were sharing their different techniques. Maybe there was just a lot more places to explore.
But they gave us,
and less with the Dark Elves. They were very
Okay, here my spin, guys, and we got to wrap.
Yeah, we got to wrap up. We're over
my
time.
spin is prepare to be dazzled. All right, read what Smedley said. What you shared from the forums. Go back and read that, everybody. Prepare to be dazzled, because these guys are going to get resources they need, and we're going to be the beneficiaries.
Awesome. I'm stoked about that. So, yeah, it seems like we can only be optimistic about the big acquisition, but we'll see what happens. Only time can tell. Devlin, what do you got going on this week? as we wrap
Finishing up the fantastic building that everybody has been working on over on the Nightlife Club. That progress has come along majorly in the last couple of days. So we are to the point where we're going to be decorating the inside of it. And I hope by the end of the week it's going to be open for both business and for people who want to move in and have apartments there. They can do so.
Very cool. Awesome. Temma, what do you got going on this week? Typing.
Okay, sorry. Basically, well, tomorrow night I get back on my schedule of streaming on Thursdays. So it'll be Thursdays and Mondays that I'll be streaming. And hopefully I'll progress to 3 days out of the week after that and progress on to where I can hopefully get back to streaming every night. Other than that, I really don't have much else going on other than work.
Cool. So, but you're always on Twitter, so make sure to follow Temma's Twitter and make sure to keep in the loop on what he's streaming. So, George, what do you got going on this week with the Morning Brew?
Wow. Well, we got the Morning Brew tomorrow and Friday, but we've got a special show. It's going to be
That's
Let's Talk Landmark. That's going to be right after the workshop show, and Loved Madly is going to be there.
Oh, awesome.
She's going to be on the show with us. So that's gonna be a lot of
Awesome.
fun, guys. Yeah, tune in. Let's Talk Landmark. We'll be able to cover some of these topics and a lot more. It's going to kind of be an open forum. We'll make a few comments about the big topics, but then the rest of it's going to be talking about,
I'm going to have to catch
Landmark
it from
Live.
work,
yeah, it's okay.
sadly.
Yeah, you'll be there.
You have a lot of people who watch from work, George, which is
Yeah,
pretty
well,
cool.
Yeah.
I can't watch it. That's the bad
Can you
part.
listen at
I
least?
can hear it,
That's cool.
but I can't watch it.
So it's
I
almost
watch
like
it
a
from work.
podcast.
I watch it
There
from
you
work.
go. So yeah, if you're not watching Twitch from work, see if you can get through if it's not blocked or whatever. But all right, so that's it for us. We went over a little bit, but I want to thank everyone here for being here. Devlin, thanks for coming on the show. We'd love to have you on again sometime very soon.
Love being here, man. It's always
Awesome.
fun.
Very cool. So I want to thank everyone out there in chat for hanging out with us. This has been Landmark Weekly, episode number 8. And as always, don't forget, keep up on your upkeep.